What's up, everyone? I'm back again. All right, today we're going to talk about what's the top 10 career choices if you want to become a millionaire, or these careers are more likely to get you to become a millionaire. Um, Dave Ramsey talked about this, um, and I'm going to just get my 2 cents on it. But before I do that, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not your consultant, I'm just some guy on YouTube, and if that's it. Just some guy on YouTube. So let's get started. The very first job that can make you a millionaire is an engineer. And the average salary for an engineer, for like a civil engineer or industrial, it's like $87,000 a year. And it's just the number one field that makes you a millionaire. It's the profession that most I've seen millionaires come from. The next one is a CPA. You know, someone who does their taxes, and their average salary is only 70K a year. And these salaries, you notice, are not that big. But these are the top two right now career choices that, among professional, according to the survey, say that they have the highest potential to become millionaires. Now, the very shocking one to me was number three was a teacher. They only make on average like 60K a year, and wow, 60K a year, and they can become a millionaire by the time they retire. Number five, human resource manager. That's They make about $110,000 a year on average, and this is higher than the engineer, higher than the last three, and they all have something kind of in common, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then, of course, after that is another engineering field, a software developer. Software developers, they make about $103,000 a year, and there's another person that, they just save money. And number six, data scientists. There's a reoccurring theme on this. Almost every single one of these career choices works with numbers. Number seven, informational security analysts. They make about $98,000 a year. And one of the most notable attributes among millionaires in the survey is a hard worker is someone who shows up and does what it needs to be done. And most millionaires don't just magically become millionaires. It's intentional. Number eight, sales manager. They work with numbers. Another one. And the average salary is $137,000 a year. Number nine, a dental hygienist. And that one took me for a surprise. That's the first healthcare person on there. And then number 10, genetic counselor. And they make about $80,000 a year. So what do they all have in common? They're all people who have a process, have a procedure in how they do it, things. And if we go back and look at engineers is number one. And engineering has the most procedures and standards I have seen in any industry. You can't write a program, you can't do anything or do paperwork without proper procedures. And engineers have to stick by the procedures because they're the one that writes the procedure. So if you're trying to become a millionaire, you're going to look up, hey, I need to save money. This is how much I need to save in this amount of time. That amount of time. You see, if you want 5 years, how much do you need to save in 5 years? Because the average engineer, according to this website, is $87,000 a year. And if they're making $87,000 a year and they become a millionaire, that's amazing. Do you see doctors, pharmacists, or anyone else like that on here? No. They didn't even make it in the top 10. If they're not making it in the top 10, then it's telling me that, hey, that's not the career choice that become millionaire. They can make a lot of money, but they're not people who became net worth a millionaire. They might make like $300,000-$400,000 a year, but their net worth is not $1 million. That doesn't make sense. But they have a lot of bills. They have to pay medical, they have to pay insurance, and that's why I say it's all about how you budget and what process you're going to go through. There's a bunch of different routes you can take, and every single one of these top 5 jobs, like number 3 is a teacher making $58K a year. And they become millionaires because they have a process. They can't teach a class just walking in there and say, hey, I'm going to teach this. Well, they have to write a procedure or a teaching program, and then they follow the program. So finance and become a millionaire is literally you plan it, you budget it, and you do your procedure. And you don't stray from it. And that's how you become a millionaire, by working a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, by following a step-by-step procedure. If you're going to do the snowball method, cool. If you're going to invest in your 401k and put all in there, that's also a good choice. You also can do real estate. But you notice that all these careers, they all have to write a protocol and follow a protocol to do their job. And guess what? It shows that all these people, CPAs, teachers, human resource manager, software developer, and engineering, those are the advanced degrees. And survey was done with the millionaires, and these are the top careers. And I can speak from on my point of view. How did I become a millionaire as an engineer? Well, one, I worked so much that I couldn't spend my money. So that's one of the downsides of becoming an engineer, is you work these long hours. You really can't spend your money, and to be honest, you're always looking at, as a develop engineer or an engineer, you're always looking at budgets and money anyways, because you can't do your projects without a money amount. Sometimes we need test equipment, we have to budget in there. So an engineer, believe it or not, they spend a lot of time looking at how much things cost whenever they do things. Like, you're going to build a road, well, they need to budget it. Well, if they're already budgeting it and seeing these numbers, it's really easy to bring that into your personal life. And this is just my 2 cents as an engineer, because even day one, when I walked into becoming an engineer, they threw a project at me, and with all this material, and then at the end of it say, hey, we want you to build this awesome device, but for less than $1,000. So I had to budget it. I had to get all the materials and everything and budget it so that I can make the device within the specs that the company wants. So if I'm already doing that as an engineer, moving that over to a personal level is not that hard. And that's the same thing with teachers and CPAs. Teachers have limited budgets, so they have to penny pinch. And it carries over into their life because they have to penny pinch all the time. Engineers, they have to penny pinch all the time. I'm guessing human resources have to penny pinch all the time for employees. You notice that all these jobs, they have to budget for their jobs. So it's not a surprise that they budget for these projects. Now, let's talk about why doctors and lawyers aren't really up there. Well, they don't really have to budget. They bill people. And they always think, oh, I can make more money later. I know a ton of doctors, and almost none of them are wealthy. They're rich though. There's difference between wealthy and rich, but they spend every penny they make because they just say, hey, I just do 2 more surgeries and make a little bit more money. That's chasing the money. I mean, you have to work for your money, and they just say, oh, I just do 4 surgeries, 5 surgeries this week, and I'll make this much money. But they don't budget it because surgeons and stuff, they don't actually look at the numbers. They just do the surgery. Their skills are highly in medical, so they don't actually look at any of the numbers. Isn't that crazy? Doctors and lawyers only really bill people, and they don't actually look at the numbers sometimes. So they don't have to budget. Matter of fact, I'm saying about 60-70% of doctors that don't own their own doctor's office or lawyer's office, they don't have to budget for work. They go to work like a normal 9 to 5, make a lot of money, and then go home and they can spend it and not worry about it because they have a high salary. That's the problem about having a high salary is you think, oh, I can always make more later because you're making $300,000, $400,000 a year. But they're spending every penny because engineers and teachers and CPA has to budget for their project, for employees, and to teach kids. That's it. That's the reason. No, it's very simple. All those jobs, they have to budget for their jobs monthly, sometimes even weekly. That's just how it is. All right, like and subscribe if you like this video. If not, hey, put in a comment that you hate me. I don't care. Later.